President Trump continues his unpredictable approach to foreign trade, announcing new tariffs and agreements at rapid fire, often over social media. Trump and his allies often crow about the administration's deal making prowess, but Americans aren't giving the president a pat on the back, at least not just yet. Alex Gangitano, White House reporter here at The Hill, joins us to discuss. Alex, you're out with a new story on how Americans are reacting to all this trade drama. What did you find?
Yeah, it's been really interesting to see some of the polling around how much Americans are bracing for higher prices, for inflation, and just the uncertainty around some of these tariffs, just the questions that everybody has about what this will mean for the future, when they'll actually kick in. What's interesting, though, is a consumer confidence report from the conference board said that consumer confidence has actually increased last month. That's a lot largely to do with how people are feeling right now about things like prices and the economy, but that a lot of write ins for that had to do with concerns about what the future looks like. Well, people are feeling good right now. They're, nervous about how these tariffs could impact them come September, come the holiday shopping season in December, and so on. So, there's been some interesting data out there showing that basically the administration isn't getting these high marks in terms of how people are feeling about Trump's handling of the economy, because people are so uncertain about what the future of this economy looks like.
Yeah, and so much of this seems like it's still in flux. There's another trade deadline tomorrow. There was a new announcement today regarding trade with Mexico. It seems like there's a good amount of uncertainty surrounding foreign trade and really no end in sight to that. Do you think that's what's having an impact?
That's right. I think people still are have so many questions about when exactly am I going to see, the cost of the school supplies for my kid going up when I walk into a Target or a Walmart, and there's really no answer to that question yet. Companies, the people that are actually going to be setting those prices once tariff hits, they still are unclear. My sources in the business community are telling me, we're all just in this waiting period of don't panic yet, don't make any moves yet, because we don't actually know when these tariffs are going to hit, what's going to be impacted. So at this point, it's definitely a wait and see period. Come Friday, we're expecting tariffs to hit at that deadline. But then you're right, the president today extended the Mexico deadline. So will we see more extensions? Will we see negotiations continue after Friday, especially on some of these countries that weren't able to strike deals, like Mexico, like Canada, like India, and they want to lower their rates? So this is going to be an ongoing process, and we still have a lot of questions about when exactly this is going to actually have an impact.
How do you think all this trade stuff is playing into Trump's overall approval rating?
Yeah. Right now the president is facing about a 40 to 44% approval rating. It's actually taken dips this month, and people attribute that to the economy, his handling of that. There's also other factors. If people think his immigration policies have been too harsh, foreign policy, of course, always impacts that. But the economy is one of his vulnerabilities that people point to when answering these surveys. So we'll see if that is kind of a spot that the president has to get himself out of in future months to increase that approval rating. But we're going into a few months of if people are starting to see higher prices, at the grocery store, or higher prices of what they want to buy online or wherever else, that approval rating could be taking a further hit.
As you talk to people for this story, business analysts and other sources, what is everybody kind of watching for over the next 30 days that they think will continue to shape how Americans feel about the economy and about Trump's trade policies?
Yeah, I think what the administration wants people to watch, I'll start with, is that the president has had success in striking some trade deals and gotten the US some pretty good deals, like getting the European Union, Japan to open their markets to the US, well, then imposing a 15% tariff on them. But Americans aren't really the average voter doesn't really follow, the trade deals, what exactly the president got and what that all means, because they're looking at when is this going to impact prices for me, and what does that all mean for me and my family. So, when I talk to some economist experts, they're saying that it's such a wait and see period that the uncertainty for business, the uncertainty for the American consumer is really just looming around every decision everybody's making right now, whether it means stocking up on things now, feeling good about the economy now, so being more likely to shop, or not likely to shop because they want to save their money. These are all things that American families are thinking about ahead of these tariffs hitting.
Yeah, and you have some big businesses saying that they've been hurt by these tariffs, and it'll be interesting to see if they pass them on to consumers, how those consumers react. But we'll leave it at that. Alex Gangitano, White House reporter here at The Hill. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Drew.